Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan. I've been a full-time trader for the last decade, and in this video, we're going to check in on the charts and the markets. Fundamental bears a bit surprised with the reaction to higher than anticipated CPI as the stocks continue to go up. And we've got significant strength in a number of niche sectors: cannabis, uranium, psychedelics. Let's check it out.
All right, so the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq broke our tightening ranges bull. Although the Nasdaq has some proving to do for follow through, we can see the S&P 500 resistance was 448.77 and a bull break. So again, my mindset for the market is, we can look at things and say fundamental traders that reacted to CPI were proven wrong. And we're expecting a pullback because CPI came in higher than expectations, and that's not what we got. And so that's why I, as a trader, sometimes I don't even look at expectations and I don't even look at the reading. I just look at the price reaction, and that oftentimes saves me from the fake outs. There's definitely times where the fundamental information can be useful, but I much prefer to ignore it personally. But my simple statement is the S&P 500 bulls keep complete control as long as we keep setting daily higher lows. We are in a daily uptrend, and the higher low of 445.08 is now the line in the sand. We know our resistance is the highest price we've seen on this bounce, 453.67. And it's just a question of how long can bulls maintain the daily uptrend as we head into next week. And QQQ, we can see the bull break is not quite as convincing. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But it's the same deal. If we're holding 371.88, the bulls have full control of the daily uptrend. So overall, 2 days in a row with wins for the bulls, and we'll see if they can keep that up. So it's starting to feel to me, it almost feels like a market that is grinding at all-time highs. And I just mean that based on a bunch of these niche subsectors performing really well. And there's some news behind it, but to me that is, got a hair in my mouth. To me that's indicative of people being, more willing to put money in the higher risk reward places. And there's obviously been plenty of bull markets with SPY grinding at all-time highs over the last, 8 years or whatever, where we've observed how that is. But there's a lot of strength in some of these small sectors. We'll look at them in just a moment. One thing I forgot to mention is, look at how similar QQQ is. I was having deja vu today. Yesterday and today were so similar, and this is ChartGuys put this together. The overlap here of the 5-minute time frame yesterday into today, and this is what it looked like. And you can see the dark blue is one day and the other candles are the other day. It's the same thing. We hit the low of the day at the same time. We confirmed a 5-minute bull flag at the same time. And it's just astounding. It's the same day. And you can see, let's see, did we top out at the same time? 145. We did. It's insane. I haven't seen 2 days in a row this similar in a long time. High of the day was 145. And high of the day here was 135. But very similar. Rising wedge. The pullback yesterday was more significant. But again, the morning drop, low of the day at the same time, V-shape to higher highs, mini little bull flag, very similar. All right, so cannabis first. MSOS looking good. Daily inside bar bull break. So trying to confirm the daily bull flag, and not a lot of selling pressure here. We can see the volume is dropping off as expected, but the simple statement here is if 808 is support, the bulls have complete control. We broke the high of yesterday, but we did top out. The only resistance that the bears have to defend right now, 920 and 927, which is the high of Monday and Tuesday. And if we get over 927, we're looking up at 10 psychological. And, there's a couple levels in there, 980, 1030. But really, I'll be looking towards 10 psychological. And bulls are very pleased with how we've traded this week overall. And so bulls want to see MSOS break 927 tomorrow morning, ideally, to keep that momentum going. Because if we reject from it and then pull back to the low of today, that would be the possibility of, that would essentially give the bears some short-term confidence in saying, all right, we've defended resistance again. But again, win for the bulls. Canadian names, CGC, we set the daily higher low that we were looking for. The bulls held the low of yesterday. And then as soon as we break 137 and 140, that's the win, setting the daily higher low. So now the most important support for us is 104. But we know the most likely scenario from here is now a daily lower high. Because again, as I mentioned, We're going to find a higher low. We're going to bounce and find a lower high. And if no news comes out, we're just going to look for volume to continue to drop off a bit while we trade within a tightening range. And so anything under 192 is that hourly lower high, or the daily lower high, I should say. And what do we need to set it? Well, we needed an hourly uptrend to set the daily high or low, which we got. Now we need an hourly downtrend to set the lower high. So if the bell were to ring tomorrow and we were to fail 148 resistance and then drop back down closer towards the 1-teens, that would be that daily lower high potentially shaping up. ACB is very similar, but a bit of a different perspective. It's an inside bar. It has not set its daily high or low yet. Look at the volume just completely disappear comparatively. We had 255 million and 25% of the volume today compared to Monday. So again, anticipating a tightening range, but ACB does not have that clear high or low set yet. Cron, dinky day, little inside bar, nothing changing. And TLRY continues weaker. We had a little bit of bull follow through, so I will call this a daily downtrend with zero follow through, but we are looking for anything under 337 to just be a daily lower high. And so the bears are hoping that we can confirm that downtrend. One factor, I don't know how this is on other brokers, but I know that for me personally, I don't have any shares available to short ACB or CGC, and sometimes not even MSOS, but there's usually shares to short for TLRY. And so today I just took one of those trades, shorting TLRY for the lower high here. Just a little quick trade there, but was looking long MSOS, added back some swing position on MSOS, did a little flip on the $9 break for a little 1% quickie, but again, liking how MSOS is trading. Psychedelic names. There was a headline in the psychedelic names where, let's see, phase 3 positive results, an NDA, not a non-disclosure. NDA is new drug application with the FDA. And so that led to a little bit of a volume boost. I've been talking about CMPS. I'm not following the fundamentals of the psychedelic sector nearly as much as cannabis, but I know that I really like the daily or the weekly setup on CMPS. Again, long-term tightening ranges. And it's all about this $11 range, pretty much $11.15 to $10.90 or $10.86. And I like the fact that the EMA 12 and 26 are crossing bull here. I like the back tests and hold. I want to see the weekly chart continue to close above weekly EMA 12. And again, a little uptick in volume today. I don't like that this is a possible rising wedge. Each bull break is lacking follow through. We got over 10 psychological today, but we couldn't close above it. So if this daily is a rising wedge that breaks bear, that means that we're just going to keep tightening up for a good bit longer. And then we could do one of these for a while. But let's see if we get any momentum on that headline. Certainly not much volume. I mean, a high volume day today, $4.5 million traded. MNMD is the other name I keep an eye on. And a little uptick in volume there, $2.5 million traded. But again, need to see, CNBC mentions and a headline that gets people excited about it. It doesn't take a lot of volume to move these names, but there's still no volume, no meaningful volume in play. But overall, a good day for the psychedelic names. And uranium. Again, speaking of fine long-term tightening ranges, which is why I like CMPS, CGC had that for a year on the monthly. It broke bull. We've got 40%, 30 or 40% of follow-through at this point, and we're definitely in breakout mode right now. And we have these periods where we go from slow grind to breakout to slow grind to breakout, and I'm watching for a short-term temporary top in the near term, but a lot of space for a daily high or low. It's back burner watch, hourly oversold conditions, looking for a daily high or low. I did take some profit in CJ today, just because, again, starting to get that euphoria feel and, up 10% in the last 4 days. But URA breaking out, gap up open. URNJ, which is the low cap ETF name, all-time highs are in play here. I'd love to see daily consolidation first to look for a daily high or low before looking for that all-time high. But uranium, definitely one of the stronger sectors out there. Semiconductors, SMH rejected right from the resistance we talked about yesterday. 152.17, 152.19 was a double top, and we topped out at 152.16 into a solid 1% plus pullback from there. So just keep an eye on that resistance zone. It's now a little triple top. And NVDA keeping its relative weakness. It was up 0.2% today, while QQQ was up 0.8%. We broke the high of yesterday, but no follow through. And still technically a daily downtrend here. So we could say NVDA is not positioned well for any Nasdaq weakness. It's just a question of, do we see any Nasdaq weakness? Because the bulls have controlled the last couple days. Tesla, daily inside bar bull break, testing the high of the move, 278.39. Again, lots of space for a daily high or low whenever we do see daily consolidation, but bull still hanging on for now. I will walk up my stop. My stop's down here. I'll walk it up next time we set a daily high or low, wherever that's at. Healthcare, still grinding higher. And not a significant move, but again, not really much of a factor, but bulls will take it. A little bit of green on the day. Financial sector still strong. Inside bar bull break, highest level in weeks again, and trying to fend off that weekly lower high being set. And so the financial sector is definitely helping the S&P 500 on this move, and that's why the S&P 500 cleared resistance more significantly than the Nasdaq did. Semiconductors are holding the Nasdaq back a little bit. The financial sector is helping the S&P 500 along with the energy sector, which is at all-time highs. IWM. So I don't have a ton of clarity on the daily chart. We confirmed a daily bear flag, now no follow through. But I do like the weekly. It's nice and clear. Low, lower high, and trying to hold 181.61 to form a tightening weekly range here. And so we'll eventually have to confirm a daily uptrend, but this is the most bullish day that IWM has had in almost 2 weeks, a week and a half. And I'm wondering if it's, I don't really watch the industrials. It is. IWM has been trading more in line with the industrials recently. I used to just watch the financial sector and ARKK growth to know what IWM was doing, but it seems like, I'm going to have to check the holdings. It seems like XLI is having more of an impact recently. Some other names I'm watching, WBA finally getting the oversold bounce going after, again, the scales leveling out, demand or supply exceeding demand. We start to do this, and now they do this. We know we're scouting a daily lower high, but a little bit of a bounce there. And I'm watching a whole bunch of stuff. What else? I don't know. That's it for now. Dollar, daily bull flag confirmed. So bull still in complete control, and that is keeping the metals weak. Gold, fresh lows today. Bulls did buy the dip a bit. Silver flushed a good bit to test weekly support, and technically held it just barely. But again, gold and silver are swimming against the current. If you're looking long, have to see the dollar weak. Oil. So I mentioned yesterday, maybe I'm going to be interested in this rising wedge, but I woke up this morning and didn't really like the risk reward, focused on other things, so didn't take any oil trade, and the bulls broke out. It's very strong here, and we're looking back up at this recent high, and that high is up at 95.40, and that is not going to help the inflation narrative, you know, if oil and gas prices keep going up here, but it's very strong. Keeping an eye out for a temporary climax, but no sign of it just yet. And again, with that, the energy sector is at all-time highs. It's not in breakout mode, but it's grinding to all-time highs all week. And natural gas, is that our 2-day lower high being set? Maybe. The bears will have to confirm the head and shoulders here on the 4-hour chart if that's going to be shaping up. And that is that. Took a top fish on KRE today. Didn't really follow through. I'm going to give it a chance to play out. KRE has a triple top, 44.09. Topped out today, 44.10. Had a decent initial pullback, 44.10. Quick drop of 1%. But we did close fairly strong, so that resistance is in play tomorrow. Other than that, Bitcoin broke bull. Crypto stocks trying to reverse some momentum here, but still not really convincingly doing so. MARA remains very weak. Coin is trying. All right. Have a good day. Do good things. See you soon.